Go over death crosses real quick. A death cross basically happens when a 50-day or 50 period moving average closes over 200. And this one here, Dow Jones Global Index, you have a death cross here, a golden cross where it crosses the 50, crosses the 200, then back to the death cross. Okay, so that's just to give you a quick idea of background on it. All right, Dow Industrials was last one to cross. Okay. My point of my post was where is the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ hasn't crossed yet. Short term, this looks to be resistance on it for right now on the NAS composite. New York Stock Exchange had crossed over earlier, gave you a little bit of time to get out. You can see it crossed back and forth a few times here. Some of these are a little cleaner. Okay, here you have the S&P 500. Okay. Amex Composite. This is your oils, miners, and that. October of the previous year. Toronto Stock Exchange gave you one here. A little whippy. But this is the best one of the bunch. The Venture crossed October the previous year at 1,000 roughly and dropped to lost about half roughly. And it's the cleanest one. So, this would be, if you snag one, you can do a 200 or 144 or 150 or however you want to play it, moving your stops down this way too. Okay. But this is a pretty good run here. This is almost a year and 50%. Composite, this crossed in June, late June it crossed. The composite is the Dow 65, which is your utilities, transports, and industrials. Transports, they crossed back in May as a death cross and continue to roll over. I favor the transports just due to the fact of how well cheap oil play out. Your utilities, this was interesting here. It crossed here, and it's still, but you had prices come back through. Okay, to me this just looks like a 50%. It was just excellent timing, kind of like oil, where the market swooned and they ran into dividend-paying instruments, and this is oversold. So it was a two-for deal. You get a cap gains and some dividends. Unfortunately, reality set back in that utility stocks are stocks too. Tide raises all ships. Well, it works the same thing too. This may be a permanent long-term top, and I can discuss that later on when we see what happens with the pan out here. And your NASDAQ 100 again, wide. The strongest usually become the weakest. Okay, so your NASDAQ, your Russell's. Russell is beginning to kick here. So you have a majority of your indexes in with a death cross. Basically, you just say that prices are trading below the 200. Okay, Russell's again. Russell one more time for the 3,000. OEX is getting there. This looks really weak here. This isn't much of a bounce here. Now we're playing resistance here. Is how I'm looking at it. For anything that's trading below this year's 0 point, basically. So basically, if it's below, if the thing's down for the year, it's down for the year, and above it, it would be, for basically resistance. How I'm just eyeballing them for right now. Mid caps going to cross here, and 600 small caps. This is, the smaller stocks had a better run from the October low of 14. So they're holding up a little bit better. So this is already trading into it. And then your Wilshire 5,000, which is everything, basically your total market. So the total market in America is basically paused under here. There you have it.